Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to Towering TBR. I decided I'd try and group some of my reads together, and so these are 4 books written by BIPOC authors. The first one I read was Watermoon. The book opens with a woman who is about to take over her father's pawn shop. However, it is not a normal pawn shop. This is a magical pawn shop where people can basically pawn a regret. She wakes up to find that her father is missing, the pawn shop has been ransacked, and she has her first customer. Very much in disarray, trying to figure out what happened. Together, she and the customer decide to start searching for her father and start searching for answers, and they travel to a bunch of different fantastical locations, and the world building in this was very cool. However, sometimes I felt like she would kind of back herself into a corner and then just create a new magical thing to get out of it. It didn't bother me at first, but over time it kind of got under my skin a little bit. Also, I wasn't a fan of the romance element of this book. It was not needed in my opinion, but I still think this book is good. I still gave it 3.5 stars and would recommend it. The next book I picked up was Kaikeyi by Vaishnavi Patel. This is a retelling of a Hindu myth of Ramayana, I think it is. I didn't know anything about the myth, so I didn't really know where the story was going. I was fine with that, and I found this a really compelling read. It is very, very slow, though. So in this, we are following Kaikeyi. In this world, gods and demons are real, as is magic. Kaikeyi has the power to kind of manipulate her connections with other people in a spiritual realm. Now, she's not just outright able to manipulate people into doing something that they don't want to do. We do see her actually completely shatter her connection with someone when she tries to impose her will over theirs. But it does give it kind of just enough of a magic to be able to help her facilitate things that she wants to do. Even though this is set in ancient times, she is very progressive and really wants women to have rights and wants to help women. She is of a royal lineage and she is married off to another royal person and she is going to be the 3rd wife. So far, he hadn't had any luck in having any children, and so he marries Kaikeyi in hopes of being able to get an heir. Unfortunately, they just can't conceive, so they call upon a god to bless their union, and all 3 of the wives get pregnant. They all have sons, and one of them is a set of twins, so there are 4 boys. I mentioned that she's incredibly progressive and tries to use her power to help women. Unfortunately, one of her sons does not like that idea. He is being taught by clerics and some older people who really want women to stay in their place, and she has to deal with that. I really enjoyed the world building. I really enjoyed the character work. I really enjoyed this, and I'm excited to pick up her second book, Goddess of the River. Have you read it? If you have, let me know and tell me your thoughts on it, because I'm really excited to pick up more of her stuff. Then, completely on a whim, I decided to pick up Issac's Song by Daniel Black. This is a very powerful story about a young gay Black man coming of age during the height of the AIDS crisis in the West. So we open up with him going to therapy. He's had a lot of trauma that he needs help processing, and his therapist instructs him to write stories and memories as a way to process them. So we get a lot of flashbacks as to what it was like for him growing up. His father was deeply homophobic, and both of his parents had quite a few issues, and we see him working this out through therapy and reevaluating what his memories were and how they could have been impacted by his limited point of view. 2 things that I thought were really interesting from his therapy sessions. His therapist says, "Those who hurt us cannot heal us. That's our job." Issac basically says he doesn't care what God's opinion is on him being gay, and she tells him that indifference is not empowering. He decides to go to an all-Black college and really connect with his roots, and he really identifies with a Langston Hughes poem called The Minstrel Man. And I am going to read that because I thought it really connected and helped me understand this character even better. Because my mouth is wide with laughter and my throat is deep with song, you do not think I suffer after I've held my pain so long. Because my mouth is wide with laughter, you do not hear my inner cry. Because my feet are gay with dancing, you do not know I die. I really loved Issac, and I really loved this book. And fortunately, Daniel Black has like 7 or 8 books out. If you've read any of them, let me know which one I should go to next. I love it when I stumble across a new author and they have a good size backlist for me to dip in and out of. And lastly, I picked up the audiobook The Lion's Den by Iris Mwanza, which was narrated by Chi Mende. So we are following Grace, a young lawyer who has gotten her first pro bono case. She is assigned to defend Bessie, a teenage boy who has been charged with the crime of homosexual sex, which is a crime in Zambia where they live in the 1990s and still currently today. The actual offense is called a person who has had carnal knowledge with another person against the order of nature. It's a long description, basically criminalizing homosexual acts. She is incredibly accepting of the queer community, which is quite odd given how stigmatized it is at this time. But her father had a best friend named Mr. Patel, and her father taught her to respect and love everyone. I actually love Mr. Patel as a character. He is Indian, and he has a cat called Priyanka. And in one of the scenes, he leaves Grace in charge of taking care of the cat for a day and says, like, you can give Priyanka 1 or 2 samosas at the most, no more than 4. And that just showed me how Priyanka she's got Mr. Patel wrapped around her paw. It was just so cute. So when Grace goes down to the jail to talk with her client, she finds out that he has been badly beaten because he's gay. And unfortunately, she uncovers a lot of corruption and is even attacked when she tries to defend her client. She has quite an uphill battle. During this time, AIDS is rampant, and most people blame AIDS on the homosexual community, and so they are deeply stigmatized and treated very poorly. She also comes from a really small village and had a very poor upbringing, and I thought her background was quite interesting as well. I heard this described as a legal thriller, and I hesitate to call it that because it's not exactly thrilling, but she definitely is fighting for basically gay rights and to help her client get justice. I definitely wanted to find out what was going to happen next, but I wouldn't call it a thriller. It's definitely more historical fiction, literary fiction, somewhere in that category. However, it's a very well-paced debut, and I'm looking forward to whatever she writes next. Okay, so that's what I've been reading lately. What have you been reading? Anything fun or interesting or escapist? That has definitely been what I've been looking forward to lately. Let's have a chat down in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye!